Good evening, Husker Nation. I'm David Sotek, reporting from our studio, and the Sports Ticker is brought to you by the experienced advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. First, 3 Nebraska softball players earned recognition today. Outfielder Hannah Kaur, pitcher Jordan Fromm, and infielder Ava Kuzak received honors as Big Ten players to watch for the 2026 season. The Huskers will open the season on Friday, February 6th against Washington at the UTSA Invitational in San Antonio, Texas. The game is set to start at 1:05 p.m. and coverage will be right here on the HRN. Next, the number 4 Nebraska rifle team is hosting a competition this weekend against Jacksonville State. The Huskers are coming off a successful outing, going 3-1 overall, beating Alaska Fairbanks twice and 1 win and loss to number 1 Kentucky. Both meets this Saturday and Sunday start at 8 a.m. and will be hosted at the Nebraska Rifle Range, with attendance being free for all fans. And finally, some NBA games set to start soon around the country. A 6 p.m. start between Sacramento. The Kings are heading out to Philadelphia to face off against the 76ers. Another 6 p.m. tip-off, Milwaukee Bucks heading out to Washington to face off against the Wizards. And Miami is leaving the Heat to go to the Windy City to face off against the Bulls. That tip-off time is 7 p.m. The Sports Ticker was brought to you by Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you to and through the retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process, the retirement compass. Visit StoneBridgeIWM.com. Coming up next is the first hour of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
48-44, Nebraska up by 4 points after the 2-point bank by Tyson with the Detroit Berg up top, left side in the midcourt. Starts in, kicks out, left corner, Jamarcus, got it! Splash! Bang-a-rang on the road for Jamarcus Lawrence, and the Huskers are now up 51-44, their biggest lead of the game. 4-0 run by Minnesota on 2 free throws and that layup. Right sideline, Jamarcus Lawrence puts it on the floor a couple of times. Coming from the weak side is Sanford, puts it up and in. Money ball. Sanford with a 3. Boy, did they need that one.
Callahan dribbles across the foul line, right to left, bounces underneath. Claire Johnson hands it to Bojan. That's the assist of the game from Claire Johnson.
Terrific first pass and extra pass. Easiest score of the day for the Big Red.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome in. Full 2 hours headed your way. We've got our Nebraska men's basketball hour coming up here in hour number 2. Ernie Ziegler going to be here. He's fantastic. Coach Hoiberg's got such a great staff. We've been fortunate to be able to hear from them, so we're going to hear from Ernie here tonight. Kyle's going to have that conversation. I had a chance to chat with Connor Esijan, so we'll bring you that here in hour number 2. But how you doing today, Kyle? Were you prepared for the snow here this morning?
I had no idea it was supposed to snow.
Either.
I should start watching the news nowadays. I looked out the window last night and said, it's cold. It's supposed to snow. And then I didn't know until I walked out of my apartment complex this morning that it actually had snowed. What, about an inch? It wasn't all that bad.
Yeah, well, I had no idea and took Sunny out to potty at like 7:30. I was like, what is this? What is going on?
What is this snow? Now, here's the thing. I looked, and yesterday was about 33. It felt warm. So
yeah.
I was telling Josh, our outstanding producer, earlier today, I feel like my blood's starting to change a little bit. Next week, there's a high of 57 at one point. There's 42, 45. That's going to feel like 65 degrees.
Yeah, I forgot what it is. People can chime in, but it's kind of funny because it gets to a point where it's like, 45 degrees, and you start seeing people in shorts and shorts and sandals.
I can only imagine March, and Josh had said, too, that March, be aware, there'll be a snowstorm in late March that'll come out of nowhere.
Hopefully not on March 28th.
That's right, spring game, and hopefully a Husker Elite 8 game. But if we're hitting 45, 50 degrees, that's shirt and shorts weather.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 402-413-2400 is that number if you want to be a part of the show tonight. We've got the phone lines open for you here. for a little bit. We're going to have Jeremiah Sirles coming up. We had a chance. We actually let Kyle crash our sideline slice this week, so we're going to bring you a portion of that here coming up in just a few minutes. But did want to talk some women's hoops here off the top, because another big win last night. You got back-to-back wins, and what a cool night. Let me just start with the National Girls and Women in Sports Day. There was a group of young girls that got to shadow a lot of different people inside the building. I had a shadow Nora. She was awesome. She was fantastic. She got to chat with Coatney and kind of see how he goes about what he does. The players came over and talked to her, Callan Hake and Britt, and just made her feel so special. And then she did some interviews with Cece from soccer and Arden from golf. And so it was just such a cool night. So shout out Nora. I really enjoyed spending time with her. It was just a neat event. And then to cap it all off, they played really well, too. So it was a really, really great night inside Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Yeah, I saw some of the clips on social media, some of the pictures from all of the shadows, whether it was marketing or I think Coatney had somebody sitting next to him, right? Coatney and Greesh had a few shadows as well. So that was really cool. And Nora, I'm sure Nora's going to come for your job one of these days.
Yes.
Right? That's the plan.
It was
Comes
funny
full
because
circle.
she knew a lot about, she's a soccer player. She plays soccer, softball, and basketball. So she's grilling me, asking me questions about the teams, and knew a lot about all three teams. And so it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. So what a special night. It's really, really important to Amy Williams and this program. And they take a lot of pride in that, in making sure that they are investing, and they come out, they sign autographs, and they spend time with the next generation. That's really, really important to them. But look, they needed to put together back-to-back performances. No Jess Petrie, which is a huge piece out. I don't know what's going on around here. You don't have Rink Mast against Michigan, and then you don't have Jess Petrie. But Maya Hargrove gets the start, and Britt Prince was fantastic. Logan Nisley was hit some big-time threes, and it was a great performance.
Yeah, and we take for granted, much like we took, I think, Rink for granted early in the year about certain performances that they have. Britt was incredibly efficient last night. 10 of 15 from the floor, 2 of 3 from three, was perfect from the foul line. She almost dropped 30 last night. And it's one of those games you have back-to-back on the road coming up, Ohio State and Michigan. We said yesterday on the show that this was one of those almost must-win games because it's a struggling Northwestern team. I think they were 2-7 in the Big Ten entering. So it's a game you look at it on paper at home, struggling team in the bottom half of your league that you want to come out and instill dominance in the game. And that's essentially what they did. They almost had a 30-point quarter right away in the first and hopped out to a big lead. Never trailed in the game, but you got a lot of people in. You got a lot of great performances. How about a Maya Hargrove, a double-double? I think they have a double-double chain they give out in the locker room. That was a nice video in the post-game. So you had a lot of great performances, and now this is back-to-back wins right after what was a small losing stretch. So this team is hopefully hitting their stride with back-to-back on the road coming up.
So back to 500 at 5-5. There's a cluster of teams there in the middle, and then there's another cluster that's kind of in the second tier, and in that second tier of clusters is Ohio State at 7-2, which is where Nebraska will head next. Not an easy place to play, but, again, it's kind of what you sign up for when you come to the Big Ten. But it's here we go, back on the road for the Huskers.
Yeah, and Michigan is one of those top three teams in the league at 8-1. You'll have to play them on the road. They've been a really good program. You've already seen UCLA, which is one of the teams that I think nationally in women's basketball we probably haven't talked about enough. We saw them up close and personal here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. They've lost one game this year. They're 10-0 in the Big Ten. It's a good chance they could cruise to winning a conference championship. And then you look at a team like Iowa, you still have them again at home, correct? So they've won 8 straight. They're 9-0 in the Big Ten. But the upper echelon of the league is the UCLA's, Iowa's, Michigan's, Michigan State, Ohio State. So you're going to have 2 of those teams over the next 2.
Crazy. They only have 8 games left.
Wild, right? And the Big Ten, I was looking at the schedule last night. Big Ten tournament's coming up pretty soon. NCAA tournament's coming up. I think I saw latest projection for Nebraska women's hoops is probably around a 7 seed. Mm-hmm. So there's a chance that they would be in right now if the season were to end, but there's plenty of resume building opportunities for them, especially a Big Ten tournament. Those are RPI building chances. But there's a good good opportunity for them to be in that 7-10 game right now if the season were to end.
Yeah, got a couple opportunities with ranked teams coming up that you can certainly build your resume and then take care of business against some of these other teams as well, especially at home with some of these teams coming in at home. And look, right there, that Iowa game, that was a thriller. Huskers were right there at Iowa. Iowa ends up winning in a close, hard-fought battle, but hey, you get them back at home and get a second chance at them.
I think they had a significant injury too. I don't cover the entire league as closely as I did when I was in it with the SEC, but I think they had a pretty significant injury for Iowa that they're having to deal with too on the women's basketball side. So still, you say there's only 8 or so games left, but there's still a whole month. There's still so much that can happen that is going to test your depth. That's going to there's going to be adversity that's going to pop up. So we'll see how this team deals with it all.
It's crazy. I was filling out my calendar, and then it was like I got to Rutgers February 28th, the senior day. It's wild that
February 28th, and then the Big Ten tournament will be in Indianapolis and March 4th. And
have you been to Indy for a basketball tournament?
I have not. So I actually was in Indy last year for the WBIT. They played that at Butler.
Okay.
So drove past Lucas Oil. I don't think Gamebridge that's not next to Lucas Oil. Is that separate? Is that a different part of the city?
I don't really.
I drove
been
past.
there.
I was in the downtown area. So
I've been there when they actually with the women's team, and it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool city. I know Coatney loves Indy. So
do they have the men's tournament there too?
Yes,
is that
right?
in Gamebridge?
Yeah.
So both of them are in the same arena?
It's back because it's the second week. So
I know for the SEC, one's in Nashville, the other's in Greenville, so they separated a little bit. But it looks like, both are in Indy.
Actually, no, it's Chicago. For
the men are in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a fun tournament there in Indy. So, but lots to play for here for Nebraska women's basketball. But next up for them at Ohio State coming up on Sunday. And, of course, as always, we'll have the call for you right here on the Huskers Radio Network with Matt Coatney and Jeff Griesch. Shout out to Matt Coatney. He was great with the girls that were shadowing last night.
Saw the interview you had with him last night, and I'm sure he's pumped up to get to postseason. And Griesch, I saw Griesch today, just walking around, and I'm sure he's fired up.
Just walking around aimlessly?
We were, I was walking around the concourse, so I tend to walk around.
Were you headed to the training table?
No, this was on the way back from the training table.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what, the Brussels sprouts today at the training table, outstanding.
They're the best.
Outstanding. They burnt them to a crisp. That's how they wanted to cook them. It wasn't just like a bad batch. And it was fantastic.
I missed out today just with the schedule of everything that I had going on. It was
you need to make time for the training table.
Lunch.
There's no excuses.
I mean, it was the scheduling today.
I don't want to hear it.
Crazy. I guess I could get a to-go box, but it was just
right.
bonkers today during lunch hour. But all right, 402-413-2400 is that number if you want to text in or call in. Here we're going to hear from Jeremiah Sirles coming up next. This is a fascinating conversation because Jeremiah Sirles is now on the agent side of things. He, of course, played in the NFL, so he has that kind of view. And Kyle had this thought when we've talked about the transfer portal and some of the messiness of it, of wanting to pick Sirles' brain about it. And it's pretty eye-opening, some of the things he was telling us. And even off-air that he was talking about some of the things that are kind of going on right now that really do need to get cleaned up.
It's an eye-opening conversation into how the sausage is made, i.e. how contracts are built, and how you're in a world of college athletics where you don't have sanctioned representation for certain athletes, so they're not reading through contracts, they're not understanding that things could be voided and you have to give back money and all this if you want to just get out of an NIL contract. It's not all that easy, and there's certain language in there that athletic departments and football programs put in there that a lot of athletes aren't really aware of, and that's why actual sanctioned representation like a Jeremiah Sirles is, he even said, is probably more necessary in college than it is in the NFL because everything's pretty standard in the NFL and it's a well-run, oiled machine. But in college right now, it's a whole different deal that you need someone to be able to dig through the weeds at some of these contracts.
All right, so we're going to dive into that next here on Sports Nightly. So keep it here. Jeremiah Sirles, a.k.a. the Big Dog, coming up next. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. I totally whiffed on this. I meant to bring this up in the first segment as well because news also coming out this afternoon. I feel like we get a text about this every time we have Amy Williams on the show asking about Natalie Potts. Was a Big Ten freshman of the year, had a tremendous first season and had the torn ACL at the early part of last season, has been battling to get back. And I know she's been fighting, couldn't quite get to where she needed to be able to practice and feel comfortable joining in midseason. And so deciding that she's going to redshirt this year. And so she will not be with the team, but they've fared pretty well so far without her.
Yeah, I think there was an understanding for a while that there was a good chance they probably wouldn't have her. So this isn't, in a sense, a massive blow to the mentality of the team because you haven't had her all year, and you probably knew that you weren't going to have her all year. And at this point, if you're Natalie Potts, you probably don't want to come back and burn an entire year by coming back now as we're about to enter February. Do you want to burn an entire year of eligibility? Probably not. You want to do what's best for the team, but you also need to do what's best for yourself. And just get healthy, get raring to go, and she will be back next year and 100%.
I know she's been asked a million times. I know Matt Coatney's been asked a million times. We've, like I said, we've been asked. Amy has been asked, and they've been trying and fighting, but it just not quite ready. And it just is at the point right now that it's just not worth it to burn the red shirt. So get her healthy, and hopefully we'll return back to full force going into next season. All right, so mentioned going to break. We're going to hear from Jeremiah Sirles as a part of the Sideline Slice presented by Valentino's Pizza, the official pizza of the Huskers. We allowed Kyle to crash our party this week, so we dove into a lot of transfer portal stuff. We dove into the agent stuff. We also talked about the Huskers transfer portal additions, but wanted to bring you a portion of that conversation here tonight. In the chaos of what has been the last month since really, I mean, the transfer portal opened, but let's face it, it was crazy in December when the season ended. And so you have a unique perspective in that you obviously went through it as a player in negotiations on the NFL level for multiple years. And now you are on the agent side of things. And we've talked a lot about, there are good agents and you try to do things the right way. And then there are some people that are maybe they don't have these players' best interests at heart. But we've heard it from the coaching staff, the staff here at Nebraska. You've said it too. So we wanted to kind of dive into that and maybe pick your brain a little bit. And it was Kyle's idea. So Kyle, that's really why Kyle is here.
That's right.
So.
I want to learn more about why you take all these phone calls and all these crazy situations, because look, we see more and more reporting about how wacky this has all gotten. The Darian Mensah stuff, the Damon Williams stuff, even in hoops when you have guys that were playing in the G League and there's 10-day restraining orders and now they're playing on Alabama's men's basketball team and trying to be a part of an NCAA tournament run. From your perspective, how out of whack has this whole thing gotten, and how tough is it to keep it on the tracks as an agent?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with this. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think the current model of, and I'm just going to stay in my lane, of football transfer portal is truly sustainable, because when you have this war of they're not employees, right? And athletes are not employees of the university. And that is written very clearly in every NIL contract that I've ever read and ever will sign. Not employees. But then you want to have them on the university side. You want to kind of have them under rules and regulations that treat them similar to employees, because that's really the only way this whole thing coincides and works. In the middle is the gray area in which we are living right now. And until we can truly get to a place where I believe that they are employees and there is a CBA, collective bargained agreement between unionized players and universities, we're going to constantly live in this gray area. And that's a hard place to live in when you're trying to build a football program, when you're trying to do anything. It's gray areas are not good to live in, especially when you're talking about millions of dollars being paid to players, boosters, universities. Like, this is such a large scale that in where we're at now in the wacky world in which we've turned into, it's not going to get fixed, in my opinion, until we get to that point. It's actually only going to get worse.
How do we get there? I mean, who do you look to start trying to figure this thing out? We go back to signing day. Pat Stewart had told us, if you look at the NFL and the model of the NFL, like, we know what the highest paid left tackle is in the NFL. But for this, where we're at in college, they might be telling you one thing, but you actually don't know. And so I think that's where the transparency part is making it challenging too. And then it's just year to year. I mean, you can't even lock guys up for multi-years at this point. It's just a year-to-year basis. But How does that get corrected, and what do you feel like maybe could be taken from the way the NFL does it that could maybe help this thing out at the college level?
I mean, like I talked about, the first thing is making them employees, right? Because when you make them employees, you can hold them to multi-year contracts, and you can hold them to actual penalties, and there's buyouts and those type of things. With that being said, I don't see that happening anytime soon. And so, the way you have to look at this and the way you have to view this is it's free agency every single year. And so the way that you can do a quick fix, in my opinion, with keeping most of the structure of how it's not employees NIL, is you change the timeline. You don't have 3 months worth of work crammed in to 6 weeks, right? Because you're talking about as soon as the season is ending, you're now going, okay, first thing I have to do in November, December, if I'm GM, if I'm Pat Stewart, retention, right? I have to retain the players on my team every single year. It's not like, oh, I need to retain these 10 players that are going to be free agents this year, their contract's up. No, I need to re-sign every single player on my team. Okay, once I can try and work through that and get through that, then I need to start knowing how much money do I have for acquisition. Okay, then I need to know who's in the portal. We don't even know who's in the portal until January 2nd. So how am I supposed to know who I want to scout and try and go acquire? Oh, meanwhile, if we made a bowl game, don't forget, got to prep for that. Maybe need to hire some new coaches while we're doing that too. And then here's free agency, 2 weeks, figure it out. This timeline needs to change. And so my ideal world timeline wise, transfer portal is not until May, right? Maybe April. And you have all of January, February, March for your retention. You can have the conversations of who you want to retain, who you think is going to move on, get that piece put together. You allow players to publicly declare that they're going to enter the portal in late March, right? Maybe at the beginning of March. So now the rest of the league can now know who's going to be in the portal. They can start scouting that. You can start scouting that, who you want to look at, who you want to target. Boom. April 1st opens. May 1st opens. Portals open all of May. You open the portal all of May because that's also when the school's out. So that requires the academic people that say, oh, we got to do academics. Like, okay, cool. Well, semester ends, bang. Now the portal is open. Then you have your full acquisition. You have your ability to go in, sign everyone you need to do. You get your full roster for the next season in June 1. Then you have OTAs. You don't have spring ball. You have OTAs in the summertime in June and July, and you have a little bit of time off, and then you roll right into August in the camp. You treat it like an NFL schedule. You do away with spring ball in March. You just treat that as lifting, conditioning, and the whole bit, and you don't start any game preparation or that type of thing until you have your full squad in June.
It's almost echoing exactly what Troy Dannon has said, and Matt Rule, I think, is right. It's right in the same area of what you're talking in terms of timeline. I think Coach Rule said the same thing. Why not treat the athletic calendar with football the same as we treat the academic calendar? You've done one good thing, and that's limit one portal session now, where you have it in January as opposed to one in January and then one in the spring. So you've taken steps in the right direction. And I think what Troy has said in the past is eventually, Sirles, that we're going to need some sort of government or Congress intervention to really make change. It's hard to make change in college athletics now because conference commissioners can't agree on how many playoff teams we want, or some of the issues. All the issues the conferences can't agree. So how do we do something as big or as macro as changing a calendar or a collective bargaining agreement? I think that's where it starts, right? The SEC and the Big Ten and the Big 12 and the ACC, they can't agree on anything. So I think that's where it's got to start. These conference commissioners have to get together and have some sort of uniformity into how we get these things done.
I actually think it goes bigger than that. I think it goes into you do outright with all the conference people right now, you clear them all out and you basically start a new conference. And you take the top 60 Power 4 schools and you break them up regionally and you treat it like the NFL. And you've got 60 of them and you just go straight regional. It's going to be similar to the conferences that you have now. But the thing is you have to make a clear, concise cap for all of those schools, right? And then you have the next tier down, the G5 levels. They have 60 schools in it as well. And then what happens is you can have the bottom 10 and the top 10 switch out every year. right? Hey, this school,
Like
you can
soccer.
go down, but you treat it like the soccer
Relegation,
program.
yeah.
I think you have relegation, and that way you make it equal. Because the reason no one's going to agree, Kyle, if I'm Texas Tech, I love operating in the fact that I've got billionaires in my pocket, and I don't have to truly operate under this $20 million cap that everyone has to operate under, right? Why would I want to agree to spend the same amount of money as Purdue? Why would I do that? I don't need to do that. If I'm Oregon and I'm Phil Knight, I'm like, pee on all the peasants. Who cares, right? We can do whatever we want. So until you get an actual regulated body to come in and say, no, just like the NFL, collectively bargained cap, revenue split, right? Revenue split. Because right now, I mean, the NFL has about a 47% revenue split that goes to the players. I bet you it's close to like 10 to 15% that goes to the college athletes right now. That needs to bump that number up, make it more true revenue split, put the whole thing together. But yeah, it's going to take a governing body to come in, and I don't think it's the NCAA, unfortunately, and clean house with everything and say, here's the standard, and that's good. But again, none of that happens, Kyle, until you unionize the players.
Yeah, which I don't see ever happening in the near future.
Yeah.
How
challenging is it, Sirles? Because, you know, and it feels like we don't have this issue again at the NFL level, but you've got these parents, these family members, these friends of families that coming in and claiming to be agents or let me be your representatives. You know, and you're certified, you went through, took the test, all of that, and you also have NFL guys that you represent. But how challenging is that now when you are having these conversations with these players that these basically guys, there are people coming in saying, hey, we can get you this, but that's not the reality. And you have a better pulse of what actually can be offered and where they can find a good spot. And it's kind of, you're thinking the overall picture where some people are just guaranteeing money. And obviously, so a lot of times that speaks. What's the challenge of that right now with a lot of these conversations being had with some people that maybe aren't as understanding of what the landscape is?
Yeah, the biggest issue, Jess, is you both sitting right there today, tomorrow could slap NIL agent on your chest and go represent people. There's nothing stopping. There's no barrier to entry to calling yourself an NIL agent, right? And so if that's the case, why wouldn't everyone want to be an NIL agent, right? They look at the chance, go, you mean I can make 5 to 12% of what that guy's making by just negotiating his deal? Yeah, I'm an uncle. I'm a cousin. I sell cars. I can do this. That's not the case at all. In fact, I almost would make the argument, Jess, you need an agent more in college football right now than you do the NFL. Because the way things are going in college football right now, the NFL, there's a standardized agreement. You know what you're getting. There's stuff you have to look out for, language you need to put in there, but it's all overseen by the NFL and the NFLPA, right? So it can't be this outrageous thing. The more I got into this space this year, and I talked to schools and I looked at contracts from every single Power 4 conference this year. They're all different, every single one of them. There's no standardized agreement. And so every single school is trying to see, what can I put in there? Where can I lean on this? How can I put liquidated damages in here? How can I put penalties in here? How can I put things in here that mom, dad, brother, uncle aren't going to catch? They're just going to look at the number. And I'll tell you, everyone that I talk to, the first thing I ask, I go, hey, I need to see your contract for the structure of it. Before the number's going to be what the number's going to be. We'll negotiate that later. Structure comes first. And that's when the GMs will go, you're a real agent. Like, you actually know what you're looking for, right? Instead of so many people are calling going, what's the number? What's the number? It's like, yeah, the number's important, but if that number's 1 million, but in the contract language, if he decides to declare for the bowl game early, you can take 50% of that back. Technically, the contract's worth $0, right? So structure is so important with these things because these guys have no idea what they're signing most of the time.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a great point, Sirles, right? Because you have these guys that aren't sanctioned to be agents, and you could trick guys out of money. And that's why this is truly the wild, wild west that we have now in college athletics. And then there's the other side of it is you have Agent A that isn't sanctioned to be an agent saying, hey, go into the quote-unquote open market and, you know, we'll find a deal for you. And then the reality is there's no deal out there. And when the musical chairs and the music ends on the musical chairs, there's no place to sit for some of these guys that now all of a sudden do not have a roster spot, do not have a school. How often are we seeing that now where guys, the thousands of players that are entering the transfer portal now don't have any spot to play?
Not just that, I had a client this year at a Big 12 school that he was a redshirt. He was a freshman last year, got hurt during training camp, had surgery, was on basically medical IR this year, right? Just rehabbing. Whole staff gets fired. GM gets fired. He comes in. New GM comes in. I talk to the GM. He says, no, we like your guy. We want to develop him. We want to keep him. Okay, great. Cool. He's on scholarship. A week into the portal, he calls me and my client says, hey, they just cut me. They just told me my scholarship is not going to be renewed and I need to enter the portal. And so now you're going, okay, so players can be cut, right? Not just, hey, we are not going to renew your scholarship. This guy did nothing wrong besides get hurt. He picked that school over other Power 4 schools because he wanted to go play there. And now if a new staff can come in and say, well, we think we can upgrade from this player, we're just going to release you. That becomes a bigger issue now too. And I promise you, there's a lot more of those type of stories that are happening across college football right now versus you just see the guy that says, I'm declaring to enter for the transfer portal. Well, we don't know what led to that point. Is he truly going? And everyone just assumes, oh, he's scared of competition. He doesn't want to compete. He's chasing the bag. Or did someone have a conversation with him inside the building that said, hey, we're going to upgrade from you. Sorry, your scholarship's not getting renewed. Mm-hmm. That's happening real lifetime in college football right now. And so I see it from the player's perspective of, hey, I got to protect myself, but I also feel for the universities. I do. There's a part of me that I'd be dumb to not say that I can understand where the university is coming from, where they're spending millions and they're putting time and energy and effort into building and developing players just to have them move on for 2 years because another school offered $200,000 more. And so that's where this is the gray area that I'm talking about. Where do you meet in the middle? And where do you find that ability to say, we want to grow, develop, and work with you here, but also understand that it's a free market every single year because we don't have rules and regulations. And that's where everyone gets really frustrated. And it's really hard to see it from the business perspective because it is a true 1-year contract every single year.
Again, that is Jeremiah Sirles as a part of a Sideline Slice episode presented by Valentino's Pizza, the official pizza of the Huskers. And it was a 40-minute conversation, and that was just a small portion of it. You can listen to that full conversation. It's out now on our podcast platforms, on our YouTube channel as well if you want to hear more. We also dove into his take on the Huskers transfer portal edition. So we got into a lot with him. It's been a while since we talked to Sirles.
Yeah, I can talk to Sirles forever.
Yeah,
and
same. I do it every week.
With the picks this year, I've had my fair share of Sirles. You know what? I'm done till next year. I'm good.
Oh, you are.
I'm
okay.
good till next year.
You're good. Well, I'll keep talking to him then because we've got some more contracted podcast episodes that we've got to deliver on this year, but. We got fortunate that we were able to talk to him this week because his travel got delayed because of all the messiness of the winter storm that's down south. So
there's a lot of snow that I assume is still down. Did you see this? Ole Miss, they're not going back to school till like February 9th because of the ice storms that they've had in that area. There's just no equipment. There's no salt.
Yeah.
There's none of it.
It's just they don't have it's the same thing. A lot of schools in Oklahoma are getting canceled for several days in a row because they just don't have the resources because it's just not sustainable because they don't need it. Like you might go 3 years before you need any of that stuff.
What was the name of the storm again that we just had? Fern? Winter storm Fern?
You said Fern?
That's how you say it, Fern.
But you made a funny face when you said it.
I don't think
Fern.
I did. Hold on, let me see. Yep, it's Fern. Fern. Winter storm Fern.
Was no joke. Again, So Jeremiah Sirles, Sideline Slice, Valentino's Pizza, the official pizza of the Huskers, out now on our podcast platforms, our YouTube channel as well. All right, got to get to a break. More Sports Nightly coming up right after this.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the propane tank on your grill first before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up.
Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who wants chips?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. With Allo plus DirecTV plus Allo Mobile, you get the ultimate teamwork. Internet you can count on, TV you can stream anytime, anywhere, and nationwide coverage you can depend on. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since when, Kyle?
1975.
Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
I was going to say Husker Athletics. You have it memorized.
I do have it memorized. I got, I think, like three memorized. I keep trying to challenge you. Welcome back. We just got a text to the text line. So Kyle is just done talking to Jeremiah Sirles.
Done with him.
He's kidding.
Done with him forever.
I feel like people are misunderstanding your sarcasm.
People don't
recently.
get. People really don't understand. And I have to have a talk with Damon Benning.
I know they thought we were being serious when the other night on wrestling.
People see me or hear me in my football broadcast setting when we're actually on the air doing the games. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room to mess around there because people need to know what's going on. It's very important. But if people truly understand, you get it because you're around me enough.
Yeah. And I also can see you.
Right.
So,
people don't get my sarcasm. 95% of what comes out of my mouth is sarcastic. So what did the text say?
So Kyle is just done talking to JS.
Did that come from Sirles' number?
Or not. No, it's not. It's not Sirles' number.
Maybe I'll talk to Sirles again. Who knows? One of these days.
There's been a little bit of a rivalry going on with the picks. They like to talk trash. Sirles was gonna, initiate Kyle a little bit, and Kyle was gonna talk trash on Sirles. It's all in good fun.
Yeah, I don't want to see any articles in the Omaha World Herald that there's a beef between Kyle Crooks and Jeremiah Sirles and the Husker radio network is crumbling. No, we're good.
It's all in good fun.
Yes.
All in good fun. It's all for the entertainment purposes, but no.
I'm very sarcastic. People get to know me. The longer I'm here, you'll see how I'm insufferable sarcastically.
I get it.
Yes.
That's all that
Damon
matters.
Benning doesn't, which is that's the most disappointing part of it all. He doesn't know how sarcastic I am yet.
You just are like you said, you're pretty serious on a football game day.
Yeah.
So, but he'll get it. He'll get it. Enhance your grilling game with Nebraska with a Nebraska-made grill from M Grills. Wood pellet and charcoal grills made to last with Nebraska values. Check them out at mgrills.com, a proud supporter of Husker Athletics. Got to get to a break. We're back to wrap up hour number 1 next.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Joyce in the chat wants to know if you want to wrestle Jacob Van D.
Do I want to wrestle Jacob Van D? I don't want to wrestle anybody. I don't have anything left in the tank.
No, he does not. He does not. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Final segment left for me. And then Kyle going to take things over for our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour with Ernie Ziegler. And then we'll also hear a conversation with Connor Esijan as he's taking on a different role this season, getting back healthy. So should be a fun hour coming up next hour. So I was thinking about this today, Kyle. Preparing for the TV show, Price Samfort has 5 straight 20-point games. And I think he's putting himself in certainly the conversation for all Big Ten first team. And he's not even in the top 10 in all games, but in conference games, he's right there in the top 5. But also the impact of Sam Hoiberg, we're hearing coaches every night get up to the mic and talk about how he's the guy that makes them go and how important he is to the success of this team. Who would you vote for at this point as a Husker for all Big Ten team?
All Big Ten, just first team or just any?
First team.
I would say Price would be first team. I would put Rink in for a nomination for second team. I think if Jamarcus has a great close to the season, he could be in the conversation for that. And then Braden with, I think he all Big Ten freshman and then 6th player of the year. I think that's probably who you're looking at. That's just off the top of my head. I think those would be the group of guys.
I've just have been thinking about all the times that the head coaches, and coaches also get a vote too. They have 2 separate teams, the media and then the coaches, and how many coaches have got up there and just gone on and on about Sam Hoiberg.
Yeah, that's a good one. He might be all defensive team.
I mean, he's
for Big Ten. That's the one that I miss. I don't think he'll be all Big Ten. I think all defensive team is where you'd look for Sam. I mean, he's so consistent on that end of the floor. And then Fred would be a shoo-in for Big Ten Coach of the Year. I don't think that would be close.
I think at this point he's in the conversation for National Coach of the Year.
That's the flip of the coin. Can he win National Coach of the AP National Coach of the Year, which is the big one?
And I think certainly, look, a big part of these postseason awards, and got a long ways to go. I just was thinking about it today that if Price continues, that he's got to be a shoo-in, along with Braden Frager, as we talked about, that, it's unfortunate that he got hurt when he did. But a lot of times when your team has success, that's when a lot of these postseason awards come. So, you had Bryce Williams last year do the things that he did, and the team just barely missing out on the NCAA tournament. And so I think you're getting on the verge of maybe even having an All-American.
Yeah, I would say so. I think Price, you could put him in that conversation. I think Rink got off to such a good start to the season and to Big Ten play. He sort of cooled off a little bit, and there could be a lot of reasons for that. We know he's sick right now. So a lot of the early conversation, at least where he was trending, Rink was trending, has cooled off a little bit. But there's some other guys, like if Jamarcus Lawrence has a really strong end to the year, if Sam Hoiberg has a really strong offensive end to the year, along with what he does defensively, then he works himself into that conversation. But All-American Price for sure. And if Rink, he heats up again, he's another guy too you could put in that.
It's funny, I talking with the guys over the last couple of days after the Michigan loss and Coach Hoiberg, and we heard Sam say after the loss, look, there's no moral victories for us. And you're going to hear the conversation with Connor. They had a conversation in the locker room that, hey, we still have not done anything, even though, I think a lot of people wanted to give them a lot of credit for how they played Michigan and, shorthanded and being right there leading the entire way. They are not satisfied by any means. And they know that they have a long ways to go.
And what a great opportunity. You've earned these chances to play a top 5 game and to now play a top 10 game, which is going to be on a Sunday. People are going to be locked in. It's going to be sold out.
White out.
Wear white, and you've earned these opportunities to have cool environments and have the national stage to yourself.
It's fun, and every single game from here on out sold out, and got some big ones coming up here over the next few weeks inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. All right, that's going to do it for me. We've got our Nebraska Men's Basketball Hour coming up next with assistant coach Ernie Ziegler. Also going to hear again from Connor Asijan. We will be back tomorrow for a full 2 hours on a Friday night. So we'll have a fun show coming up for you tomorrow night once again on a Friday night. I will not be live, unfortunately, at wrestling. They're at Penn State, but
I wouldn't be invited anyway.
Hour 2 is Sports Nightly up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
It's time for the Nebraska Men's Basketball Coaches Show.
Jacobson with the basketball to Leo Curtis. Good hands, good strong hands. Sanford's got it. In it comes to Leo. Puts it up and in. Holy smokes, the opportunity seized by the freshman from Iceland with ice in his veins. Fukuza dribbles it up top. Gets it off to Sanford. Got a good look. Puts it up. Got it. Nothing but net for Price. The Price is right on the road. 63-54. Nebraska up by 9 points. Can you believe it? Jacobson switches directions, goes baseline, cuts across the key, puts it up. Got it, got it, got it, got it. Holy smokes, Jacobson dribbling rings around the Michigan defense and scores it.
Now, here's your host, Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome in, Nebraska Basketball Coaches Show, as we get you set for a new week. A new game coming up on Sunday. It'll be a whiteout, sold out at PBA as the Huskers take on Illinois. We'll talk a lot about the matchup that just took place in Ann Arbor, Michigan, talk about what's ahead. Kyle Crooks with you. We have a very special guest here for the next hour. We'll also have Connor Essegian who will join the show in the final segment with Jessica Coody, but assistant coach Ernie Ziegler. Coach, it's good to chat with you. First time we've had the opportunity to talk, but it's been a fun season, tough loss, but, it's, I guess, and you probably don't look at it this way, and the staff doesn't look at it this way. Players, same thing, but best case scenario in a loss, right? When you're down two key guys, two of your top three scorers, you guys fought to the very end, and showed a lot of people a lot of different things the other night against Michigan.
No, definitely, Kyle. We're way past the stage of moral accomplishments or what have you for us in our program at this point. But at the same time, I will say, none of our goals was about going undefeated and be the second NCAA team since the 76 Indiana Hoosiers to go undefeated through your season. So you never plan for a loss, but, when losses do occur, it's about learning from them and responding accordingly.
How did the guys respond? You knew Braden wasn't going to be on the plane, so you knew he wasn't going to play, right? But Rink Mask goes out, warms up. Second time, he stays in the locker room, really sick. And, now all of a sudden you're not just down Braden, but you're down Rink too. How does the team rally around before tip-off for losing a guy like that?
Well, we talked about the possibility of Rink not playing at our earlier shoot-around Tuesday morning. So it's not like guys were totally, blown back that, Rink wasn't able to go. But it's a next guy up mentality. And, and that's what happened. And, our guys, they know that the way we work and the way we practice is just being ready for your opportunity and putting the team before yourself and being ready to execute accordingly.
It just shows how strong the foundation of the team is when you can take out two incredibly key pieces. And, we don't even factor in Connor, who's been out for a long time, right? That's a very key piece to this roster. So that's three monumental pieces to a team, and the foundation's so strong that you take out some of those pieces and kind of the heart and soul of the team is still there. How about the start for a guy like Jamarcus Lawrence? When you know a Jamarcus and a Price Sanford's going to have to play an even bigger scoring role, but how those guys stepped up and they had to be stars, and they certainly were in stretches of that game.
Well, I think it wasn't the good thing for Jamarcus and for Price. It wasn't unfamiliar territory for either of them. We've had through this first 2/3 of the season, they both have had instances. Jamarcus most recently at Indiana, obviously Price at Illinois, where they have been the vocal point of our offense that particular night or afternoon. So, those two took that torch and ran with it. And then also I think, one thing I talked to our guys about actually about a week ago when Frager went down, and is the uncontrollables that are going to happen. And the uncontrollables have occurred to this team. And I've throughout our season, and you mentioned Connor, Oogie trying to get back and putting himself in position. And, obviously that didn't occur. And even back to even Henry Burt, who obviously hasn't been in the rotation, but he was a key member of our scout team, and he was the first guy to go down with an injury back in October. So, we've been, every time it has occurred, we've regrouped, and our standard is the standard, and our guys have continued to display that.
Chatting with assistant coach Ernie Ziegler here on the Nebraska Basketball Coaches Show. And other guys step up as a necessity. I'm sure Leo Curtis probably didn't think maybe a week ago that he would be playing in a top 5 matchup and have key minutes and hit a couple of turning lefty hook shots. And it seemed like the moment wasn't all too big for him. And that's pretty important for a freshman who's coming over here. And we know how big Michigan's front line is and the importance of the size that was needed in a matchup like that with the guys who were down. But how about Leo stepping up in a spot like that?
Oh, man, I'm extremely happy for him. And I will give you, he'll probably tell you, I've gone to him before games, preferably before this game, the game prior when at Minnesota, certain games, and I've gone and say, hey, be ready. You're going to get your chance. And sometimes it didn't even occur. So when it finally happened here, he was ready for it. And he's a kid that puts in a lot of work. Unbeknownst to a lot of people because they don't see the work that's happening behind the scenes. But he's a very skilled, capable player, and he's just barely starting to scratch the surface in what he's capable of and his future here in our program.
When you look at players that define the culture of Nebraska basketball specifically this year, I look at a player like Kale Jacobson. Plays with incredible heart and soul. He won the opening tip, did he not, against a 7-3 big? And the move he made in the lane, put his defender in a spin cycle for a lay-in, got the start, and playing the point for large stretches in the game. Kale Jacobson, while he's not the top scorer or top 3 scorer on the team, the minutes that he continues to give you when he plays 10 or more minutes, this team wins.
No doubt, and this unfortunately was one of the few losses that's happened when he's played those minutes. And he's just he's your consummate leader, and he leads even when he wasn't playing. And he's a prime example of not only him but a litany of guys from Jamarcus to Sam, and now him that were in scout team roles and much very lesser roles within the process, and have now ascended to being impactful key components of the success of our program. And Kel, he's a Husker through and through, and just really happy for him and how he continues to help us as we navigate through the last third of our regular season.
How did the other night at Michigan boost confidence, if anything? You guys know you're good. I think on the outside, there's always the moving of the goalposts with Nebraska basketball based on history, which has no bearing on the present or the future. The reality is this team is really good. But in that locker room, when you play a team that a lot of people have to win a national championship, and when you watch Michigan early in the year, it was Michigan and everybody else. And you're down, like we've said, the 2 big guys, but the confidence on the road that you could play with anybody, no matter who's available, I think that game really helped you guys in a lot of different ways.
Well, I think first and foremost, that's a testament to Coach Hoiberg and how he instills confidence in our guys, irregardless of, obviously who's available, but who you're playing against. And it starts and begins with him. And our guys have embodied that. And when you look at Michigan and you look at the teams that are good, obviously Illinois is coming in here and probably going to be coming here on an 11, 12-game winning streak here coming up. It doesn't matter who it is, how we play and what we do, we're going to accomplish that and do it. And it's really refreshing to watch how our guys have embodied that.
How steady is Fred? Seems like he fights off all of the praise that the program has had because he wants them to continue to look ahead. He always says that he asks the team after every win, you guys have had so many of them, are you satisfied? Everyone says no, consistently. He's always trying to fight off the complacency, right, with this program, that there's always that next step.
Oh, no doubt. And, that's human nature. Anyone, when you have success or you begin to have continued success, the normal reaction is to, I made it. And, Fred does an excellent job of keep putting our guys' mindsets on edge that, no, we haven't. Yes, we accomplished what we had set out to do that particular night, that particular afternoon, but now it's okay. next team up, next game up, and putting ourselves in position to continue to be at our best as we get ready for the next game.
How fun is it to coach a team that has so much veteran leadership, that guys that have been through it, a guy like Jamarcus who leaves the program, comes back, sort of sees the other side of not being with the program, comes back, a Sam Hoiberg who is the ultimate glue guy, Rink, I can go on and on. But how, I guess, easier does it make your job when you have so many guys that have been around the block a little bit?
Oh, well, it definitely does, because those guys are coaches or extensions of the coaching staff, and it's the same message that's constantly being and not to say that there's not going to be times, just like in every game, there's going to be ebbs and flows and things. The well-laid plan isn't always going to come out or play itself out to how you want it to happen, but that leadership that those guys bring, that experience as veterans and seeing it and being in different roles as they all have ascended in our program, it's you can't find a better way to be to have that type of leadership.
Yeah, and that veteran leadership certainly helps in an environment like Michigan when you're down a couple players, and certainly has helped all year off to this magical start. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. We continue on the Nebraska Basketball Coaches Show with assistant coach Ernie Ziegler. We'll have Connor Esijan in the final segment. We continue next.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins'. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99 in-store only. Limit supply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
Because my mom wore her seatbelt that day, I get to hug her when I go home.
And then it clicked. Because I wore my seatbelt, I learned that one moment in time can change a person's life forever.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
The day we were hit was the second to last day of our high school careers.
We were about to graduate as best friends together.
And then it clicked. Because we wore our seatbelt that day, we still get to experience life together.
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Back here on the Nebraska Basketball Coaches Show, the Nebraska Men's Basketball Coaches Show, sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, where people don't have your money has people. Back here on the Huskers Radio Network, Kyle Crooks and assistant coach Ernie Ziegler chatting Husker Hoops, which is the talk of the town, rightfully so, as we get set to reset with the Illinois with this Illinois group, a top 10 group coming into town at PBA, which is a whiteout, officially sold out. So be a different environment, and you've had a chance here for a handful of years to see PBA when it's really rocking. And Coach Ziegler, how about this year? What PBA has felt like, what it's looked like from your vantage point as a home court advantage?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest. I think there's been a level of consistency with it. Obviously, how we've played has another vigor about PBA, but our fans are the most consistent in the country. And, this is my fourth year as a part of Coach Hoiberg's staff. And each year, that consistency with them, with our fans and our base, has been there. And it makes PBA one of the hardest places to play in our conference, if not in the country.
And you've seen some really good environments in the SEC in your time with Mississippi State, and certainly all your different stops. When you go to other places in the Big Ten, I think Purdue's probably up there, Michigan State's probably up there. You guys just came from Ann Arbor. What are some of the tougher stops in the Big Ten?
Well, definitely, Purdue. Their student section is, I would say them and Michigan State's are 1 and 1A in terms of how they are constantly.
Are they right on top of you?
They're right on top of you, and they are there during when you start your warm up, when the 90-minute clock goes off. They're there, and then I would say thirdly, Illinois. Illinois' student section, they're very creative with how they try to get under guys' skin or what have you. So I would say those three would be the top three.
I'll tell you what, the student section here at Nebraska, I try to find an empty seat to just watch the games, and it's right in front of the student section behind one of the baskets opposite your bench. And they really get after. I mean, I don't know how much they're able to hear, but they have full notes on each player and how to just sort of dig at them. But the student section here at Nebraska, it's vast because it's behind the hoop and then it's also behind the benches, which is different than most. Usually it's one spot behind the bench or behind the hoop, but you guys have it in multiple spots. So opponents get it from different angles here. So
no, that's what makes ours unique and puts our student section right up there with those others that we just spoke about.
All right, how about your journey? You were a head coach at Central Michigan. You've had a lot of successful stops in your career. Let's start. What did you learn in your time? It's so different now, right, with how you recruit players, how you retain players. How much has it changed when you look at it from, because you've been in Fred's seat in that perspective, how much has college basketball changed?
Well, it's changed because it's more transactional. It's more, I guess, for lack of a better term, more legally transactional.
Yeah.
But I would say, the one thing that remains the same, and I think, this is why we've been able to find the right pieces for our puzzle here at Nebraska is that it still comes down to being able to evaluate in relationships, and even though you have the transactional piece now that, very much so is a huge part of it, but you still have to be able to evaluate and see if that fit is there, and then have the relationships that you're going to need to be able to allow those transactional piece of it to kind of put a bow on it for you.
How important still is high school recruiting to you guys specifically? Because, a lot of guys can go out and they can revamp their entire roster if they have enough cash through the transfer portal. And with that, there's not as many, seats at the table for the young high school freshmen. But for you guys, how much importance do you still put to going to the high school level and making sure that you're getting guys that you can develop and mold?
I think it's huge for us because, it's more than one way to skin a cat. And if you sit around and you say, hey, I want to keep up with the Joneses and we got to be able to do what they have but when you don't have those resources, you still got to get the job done. And for us, I think the high school recruits is still going to be a huge part of identifying guys. And you just look at it all right now. I mean, you look at what we were able to identify Brayton Frager, and he redshirts a year, and now he's an integral part. You look at Lale Curtis coming in last night, 2 nights ago, and being able to contribute, and he has a high upside for us. So we're going to continue to identify high school kids and that will be able to flourish and develop in Coach Hoiberg's system.
Chatting with assistant coach Ernie Ziegler of Husker Hoops as they get set to get going again on Sunday. Whiteout, sold-out PBA against Illinois. That'll be another top 10 game coming off a top 5 game against Michigan. You mentioned Brayton Frager. Came here, was reclassified, right? So he was younger when he came to campus. Did you guys expect him to be able to have a breakthrough year so early for him? And it stinks. The injury is what it is, but he's in the running for best freshman in the league, 6th man of the year, all these different things. You guys expect him to flourish so early on?
Well, we definitely, last year he had moments where he was the best player on the floor for us when he was on the scout team. And so, you started to see those flashes. So we knew he's a very capable scorer, and he brings the energy and athleticism to our rotation that, it makes him unique because, you still got to have that combination of athleticism and skill and shooting or what have you. So, I don't think anyone was surprised that he's having the success. I will say the grit and the moxie that he's displayed in certain games and the shots he's made, definitely, you're like, wow, you get the wow factor with that. But he definitely, I don't think no one's surprised with the success he's had, but he's definitely a huge part of our success.
Does he have an edge about him, just where he's, he can get to talking on the floor a little bit, which is, I would assume, unique in younger players because you have to build that confidence to get to a point where you feel good to talk some stuff on the floor. But for him, it seems like he's ultra confident in that regard.
Yeah, and and the best players I've been around, they have some stuff to them, and no fear, and you're going to express that but you got to be able to hone it and have that passion and use that passion to fuel you. And I think Brayton's, learning that, just like a lot of young guys that have that same level of passion that he has, that, you got to understand how to use it to your advantage. And as he continues to mature and understand that, the sky's the limit for him.
It's probably from the land of the obvious, but when you're without a rink mass, there's a lot that you lose in terms of production. What things that maybe fans or I wouldn't see that when you don't have a rink mast in there that you lose on the floor? What are some of those things?
Well, I think one is just the gravity. For the other team, when Rink's on the floor, they are very concerned about his ability to shoot the ball from 3. So whomever is assigned to guard him is going to have a real keen sense of where he is, and which opens up our cutting or what have you. So, that's definitely an element that you just can't automatically replace. And then I would say the other part is his ability to talk and get guys in spots, very quickly. and helping guys when coach gives them a signal. We have a ton of signals for our plays, particularly when you're on the road, and even at PBA when it's getting loud, and being able to instinctively get guys where they need to be, and his ability to pass and his ability to score around the rim, definitely. And you saw that at the end of that Michigan game when we needed a bucket to be able to loosen them up when they were really locked in on us on the perimeter. We didn't have that option of getting that ball to him below the foul line and create some offense for us.
It's fair to say that ranking a game like that where you can pull out their 7-3 big or their big front court, that probably would have been a massive difference maker, right? You're stretching the floor and you're pulling those big guys away from the hoop.
Without question.
Yeah, so that's huge, and not having Rankin in that game. But now you look ahead. I think the good thing is, and Fred has said this too, you've had 3 2-day preps, right? As a coach, that's a disaster, but that's part of the league scheduling. Now you get a little time to say, okay, let's take a deep breath and get ready for Illinois, and then you'll have a full week before you have Rutgers on Saturday. So now you're hitting a better spot in your schedule, I would assume, right?
I think no doubt, because we've had 6 of our first 10 were on the road. So now in this second 10 that if we hear beginning with Illinois, 6 of these next 10 are going to be at home. And then we have a little more space, and on top of the fact of where we are health-wise, having our guys having a complete day off yesterday, getting back, and now having a chance to have really a 4-day prep or 3-day prep with the off day that we were able to give them is huge for us. And so hopefully we can take advantage of now how the schedule kind of lightens up, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, the short turnarounds are a disaster for the players, trying to get, especially when you have some nicks and bruises, and then having to get ready as a coaching staff, getting the scouting reports ready to go. Good stuff here with assistant coach Ernie Ziegler. We do have one more segment with Coach coming up, and then the final segment, Jessica Coody will sit down with Connor Essegian. We continue with the show next.
Dear Weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Think a bunch of IT gurus would have anything in common with a dominant college volleyball team? Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of Applied Connective, serving Nebraska businesses for nearly 20 years. We're proud to have a few things in common with our beloved Huskers, namely that we're also a group of hardworking and highly skilled individuals that make up one dynamic team. From our IT and cybersecurity all-stars to our phone, physical security, infrastructure, and audio-video pros, we're one team that can expertly manage all your technologies. Discover why it's a game changer to partner with us at appliedconnective.com. And as always, go Big Red.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, you know Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset at, well, sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Fans, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Kyle Crooks and assistant coach Ernie Ziegler back on the Nebraska Basketball Coaches Show. Final segment with Coach Jessica Coody. We'll have Connor Esijan in the final segment of the show, so we'll have that conversation coming up as well. Big game on the horizon for the Huskers. They're all big, but now you have a top 10 matchup with number 9 Illinois, who has not lost since the Huskers beat them back in mid-December on the road, which I believe was a snowy day in Champaign, right?
Yes, it was.
So hopefully it's not snowy here in Lincoln for that day, but it should be a great environment. It's a whiteout, sold out Illinois coming in, and they're about as hot as anybody in the country, Coach.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, they play Washington tonight. I think they're on an 11-game winning streak right now. And they've reinvented themselves. They lost one of their starters, Kylan Boswell, to a hand injury. And, you know, Keegan Wagler has just stepped up in a huge way and taking on a huge load, coming off a 46-point game at Purdue in a win on Saturday. So they're playing and clicking at all cylinders right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the games since they played you guys, but they put up 91 on Missouri after that game. But talking more recently, 80 to put up 89 against Maryland, 88 on the road against Purdue, which, like we said, that's one of the toughest places to play. So offensively, they're clicking on all cylinders right now. It seems like.
Yeah, and the thing that they do a great job of is recognize and identifying mismatches, and they go at that mismatch, whoever it is that they feel it is. And then the other thing that makes them unique, they crash the glass like crazy. I mean, they score all these points, but they're averaging like 16 second-chance points per game in Big Ten play. Leads the Big Ten in that category. And they had 19 second-chance points in our win at Illinois in a one-possession game. So, we're going to definitely be challenged to try to cut those numbers down and put ourselves in position to defend PBA.
What were the biggest takeaways from that first meeting when you guys played them earlier this year? Things that you look at the tape and say we want to replicate that and use that going forward, or because it's so long ago that you don't necessarily, that game might be in the rearview mirror?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think they're definitely different without Boswell because they don't have the on-ball defensive presence, so you're not worrying about scheming as much about relieving his pressure that he brought defensively. But at the same time, their versatility and their ability to stretch you out and take advantage of mismatches still remains the same. So we definitely have to hopefully do a better job because at the end of the day, they scored 80 points in that game. So it's not like we really slowed them down from the standpoint of limiting their offense. But I think we got to do a better job on the defensive boards and not allow them to get all those second chance points, do a really good job in transition, and then put ourselves in position to get this sweep here in a top 10 showdown Sunday evening here in Lincoln.
And you look at, Fred has said, I prefer us to play with a little bit of tempo at times. What's the possession number that you guys maybe look at the end of the game that you guys want to play that say this is the This is the perfect number. Everything changes. It's a game-by-game basis, but what's the perfect number for you guys?
I would say if we can have somewhere in the low to mid-70s,
okay,
you're going to feel pretty good because we know we're going to have supreme ball control and take care of the ball, and so there should be a lot of successful possessions.
Defensively, playing at an elite level, whenever you turn over Michigan 19 times, how many of those were in the second half? And, it became sort of a defensive battle at times in that second half. The way that you guys are, defense never slumps, right? Energy and effort, that never slumps. And there's a reason this is a top 5 program. Outside of you guys are very good structured offensively. But defensively, it's every single night. Like you guys have never had a down night defensively at any point.
Well, we've had some junctures where we weren't as good as we want to be or plan to be. But, our guys do a really good job of implementing and executing the defensive game plan. And as we prepare for each game and we're locked in and we have each other's back and we talk about, everyone doing their 1/5. You got 5 guys out there and all those guys working in that as one and bringing that fist together and being one. So I think we've definitely had our downs, but obviously our offense and our defense complement each other so well that it's allowed us to have a high level of success to this point.
I've heard that phrase before. I always hear 111 in football. We got to do our 111. Do your one job on the field, and as a collective, you could be successful. When you think of the coaches in this league and how tough it is to win in this league, specifically when you got the Dana Altmans and Tom Izzo's, you can go up and down the list. Just how hard is it to game plan and win in this league when most nights on the other bench you got a legend, a head coach?
Yeah, no, this is extremely tough league led by a lot of good coaches, and that's why you have to prepare for each game separately, and you can't get caught looking down your schedule and putting yourself in position that when you step between those 4 lines that afternoon, which the next one for us is Sunday afternoon, being ready to put forth your best effort and put ourselves in position to be successful.
Final few minutes here with assistant coach Ernie Ziegler. We're going to have Connor Essegian coming up in the next segment with Jessica Coody, but his rehab process and him getting back, that was tough news early in the season. We tend to forget about what you don't have in Connor, which is a massive piece. But it seems like he's with the team for every road trip. What's his thought process been? How upbeat has he been as he tries to get back for another season next year?
Connor, I think his faith, and his belief in God has really allowed him to handle and navigate this unfortunate injury for himself. And I think he sees that, knows that God has something even bigger for him. And sometimes, one thing he and I talked about is that, God doesn't put anything more on you than you can bear. And he can bear this injury, and he's working his way to get back. And he's been, the other day when Frager went down or what have you, and he came back in the second half, was on the bench, end up expressing the same thing to him. And thank God, knock on wood, Frager's injury wasn't season-ending. But he's been a rock, and, he's a huge part of this program. And even though his role isn't what we had hoped it was going to be this season as far as participating on the court, he's a huge part of what's going on for our program and our team right now.
A massive part of being a coach is just not the ability to coach X's and O's, but it's about talking to guys when they're going through their toughest point, injuries, other things off the floor that fans are never privy to. And I think that's this staff, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this staff has a good pulse of this team and how to connect with guys at a human level.
No doubt about it, because basketball is, what brings us together and what have you. But there's a lot of life lessons that parallel to what we're doing. And as coaches, you have to be able to help guys and become successful men, and deal with the ebbs and flows and the disappointments, because that's what life is. It's going to be the disappointment we had Tuesday night in Ann Arbor is going to compare to a disappointment you're going to have with your family. and all these guys become husbands and fathers and what have you. So, that's part of it. And I think any coach that lose sight of that, they're not really helping and giving all that they can to the young men that they're in contact with and helping on a daily basis.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for coming up here. Is this your first time in the new studio, by the way? I know you've done some stuff in the old one.
First time here in the new studio. Yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a big
lot of money
deal.
went into this.
Yes,
so,
indeed,
got a whole
my
podcast
friend.
studio we're working on here soon. So we appreciate you coming up. Thanks so much. And it's going to be loud. It's going to be fun on Sunday. But you guys have earned that atmosphere in a top 10 matchup. So thanks so much for coming in, Coach.
No doubt, Kyle. Thanks for having me. Go Big Red. And we're going to white it out in there, and all the white is going to be inside, even if it's some on the outside.
That's right. Well, let's keep it from snowing on Sunday. Thank assistant coach Ernie Ziegler. Connor Sejan joins the show. Jessica Coody next.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Life is busy. Wouldn't it be great if someone could help you manage your insurance?
Well, I do have a lot to keep on top of. Between the house, my life insurance, the car. Like you said, life is busy.
A local trusted choice independent insurance agent can help you with your research, coverage selection, pricing, and claims at no extra cost to you.
Which means I'll have more time to spend on other things.
Trusted choice independent insurance agents. We'll help do your insurance. You just do you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear weekend, Toyota trucks are raring to go. Gearing up for fall, Tundra is all in for hauling. Campers, ATVs, Tundra's got the muscle to move it. Going off the beaten path? Tacoma says, let's do this. With handling that tackles tough trails and the backbone to take you where the pavement can't. Both trucks pack sweet tech, posh cabins, and Toyota's legendary reliability. So whether it's a fishing trip at dawn, tailgate at noon, or a remote sunset sunset, these trucks are built to make every weekend epic. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, Baxter Toyota of Lincoln, Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, or Village Point Toyota of Omaha.
Final segment of our show tonight, Nebraska Basketball Coaches Show. We appreciate assistant coach Ernie Ziegler for joining us, getting you prepped for the Illinois matchup, top 10 matchup in PBA. Sold out. Make sure you're wearing white if you show up to the game on Sunday. 2 p.m. will be start to our coverage of the pregame with number 9 in town, Kent Pavelka, and Coach Jeff Smith will have the call for you right here on the Huskers Radio Network. The Fighting Illini, they've won 9 consecutive games. They're 5-0 on the road this year. The last loss they had was to Nebraska, and that was in mid-December. Well, one of the key pieces that has not been around this year for the Huskers coming off the bench, that's Connor Sejan after he had the injury earlier this year. He had a chance to chat with Jessica Coody, catch up with Connor, and here's that conversation.
All right, Connor, well, first of all, let's just give fans an update on how you're doing, how your progress is doing.
Yeah, I'm doing well. We're taking things slow. There's no reason to rush back, obviously being out for the rest of the year, and things are going well, though, yeah.
What's been it like, I guess, taking on a new role, kind of having to step back and kind of watch from the sideline this year?
It's different. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, like, I don't know if you've seen it before, but this is the first time I've ever missed a game before due to injury. And so, like, it's pretty crazy. But honestly, I mean, I'd say probably the only reason that why I'm able to, like, just stay so level-headed is just my relationship with Christ and understanding that, like, basketball isn't my identity anymore. So it's been good to be able to be centered in that and be able to use that to support the guys.
How about being just a different kind of teammate? Have you learned in other ways that you can be there for your teammates?
Yeah, just being able to talk to guys. I mean, like, I don't have to have the stress of going out and performing while a lot of these guys do. And so just to be able to not have that, it allows me to just be more free and be able to have more conversations on and off the court with the guys, which I feel like has been pretty helpful.
How has it been just kind of having a front row seat to what this program's been able to do this season?
Man, it's awesome. I'm so happy for this program and for this team. Like, I know that we're coming off of a gut-wrenching loss, but like we're still so proud of what we've been able to do. And we talked about it today, though. We still haven't done anything. Like we haven't done what we want to do. And so like if we start off with those 20 wins and it doesn't lead to anything, then that's not what we're looking for. And so we're just super excited of what we've been able to do. And obviously last year, to win the crown and get that momentum going into this year, and we're trying to get back to the NCAA tournament. So.
Braden Frigger coming off the injury, but what a season he's had, and really next man up, because if you're not injured, maybe he doesn't have the season that he's having. What's your perspective of him and how he's been able to make the most of the opportunity that he's been given this season?
He's a hooper. Like his life, like he loves basketball, and like he's always in the gym. He's always watching film. He's always talking about it, watching it, like everything. And so like he's just a hooper. And he's the type of kid who's going to make the most of everything he's got. And you guys have seen what he's done on the court, and it's pretty unbelievable. And he's going to continue to do great things. And if he's not on that all freshman team, I'm going to have some questions.
Fellow shooter Bryce Samford, how about him and the way that this team is able to find him when he's got the hot hand?
Yeah, I feel like it goes into the character of the guys, but also with the coaching staff too. Like Fred played that way, and so Fred knows how to get guys like that open shots. And we hunt for guys when they hit one or two. Like we're looking for guys, and I mean you can even see it in just the way that we got the ball to Jamarcus in the Michigan game when he was feeling it. We're getting the ball to someone whoever has the hot hand, and I'd say it's us, but Price also. Like this dude. If you watch some of the possessions, he runs around the floor like a mile every time he goes down, and so he works his tail off, and he's such a smart player. He can read the floor in any situation.
And the sets that Coach draws up for him, and really everybody, the way that he can get guys open, that's got to be cool too. Maybe a different perspective that you're able to see just what is able to be drawn up for guys to get them open looks.
It's crazy. Some of the stuff that Coach will draw up, like on the fly, we're like, oh my goodness. And then it works like perfectly to a T. And so it's pretty awesome to have a mindset like Coach that's been in the league, that's been part of such great programs, and obviously you see what he can do, and it's pretty unbelievable, his mind.
All right, I'm just going down the list here. Sam Hoiberg and what he's done this year. How cool is it just to see the role that he's taken on, and really just the vital piece that he's become to this program?
I mean, he keeps this thing like centered, like he is the rock. Like the way he plays, like he makes plays for himself, for the team. Anytime there's a ball on the floor, he's the first one getting floor burns, and just the way he can guard. Like he's not a big dude, but he plays like he's 6'9", and so like just being able to have a guy like that just drives so many different things. Like he's won us so many ball games this year, and he will for the rest of the season, and he's going to help us win some games in March.
I've been told the last 4 years that he is a menace in practice, that guys hate when he's guarding them. Can you attest to that?
100% I can attest to that. I hated when he was guarding me, especially when I first got here. And I had to, it's just, he's in your grill, and he knows you. He studies so much game, and he's got a mind like his dad. And having a mind like that and having so much heart, like he can do so much on the court that a lot of people can't.
Okay, well, let's talk outside of basketball. You are interested in doing some of the social media. We've seen you do that. You've been involved with the social media team here at Nebraska. What sparked your interest in that? What has made you want to get involved in that?
So back in high school, my dad, he filmed for some of our high school games, and he would like make mini game recaps and season recaps or tournament recaps. And so I would watch him. I would watch what he would do, and I was just curious. It was super cool to see what he could do, and he had no experience at all. And to see what he could do with that, I was like, this is pretty sick. And then I started posting some videos in high school, and started to get some traction. And I just enjoy it. Like I enjoy being able to just show personality and show a lot of people like what we're able to do that they don't get to see. And I just enjoy it. It's a way for me to be creative. Yeah.
I know I'm biased, but I feel like we've got the best social media team in the country. What have you learned from working with those guys and getting just to maybe have that experience? You worked on a football game day, but what are some of the things you've taken away from working with some of those guys?
I'm right along with you. We have some of the best dudes in the country, and they're great people too. Like Sam Rice, he's been so great to me, and just him being able to let me come up into the office and learn and grow, and be able to just like see stuff, do stuff, work with stuff. And for him to be able to let me take pictures at the football game last year, that was like an experience of a lifetime. I had so much fun, and I'm learning too, and like I get to go up in their offices, and I get to watch Drew and those guys like edit and get stuff done. And and they do a great job with our media. You've seen what they've been able to do this year, and there's a site with like analytics and stuff of like the reach, and we're one of the top in the country. So it's pretty impressive of what they can do.
It's probably giving you a different appreciation when you see those recap videos of what goes into it.
You guys have no idea. You guys have no idea how much time they put into those. I mean, it is like, I mean, it's 10 plus hours for those type of videos. And so like, my YouTube videos, it takes forever. And so like being able to do that and like see it, like there's such an appreciation I have for it now that I didn't have before. And those guys work their tails off. You guys have no idea.
How cool is it to just being able to do what you do and for fans to be interested in it and get to give them a little bit of a behind the scenes to this program from your perspective?
It's so much fun. Like it's so cool, like being able to go out into different arenas and like people are saying that they watch my videos, and it also shows too how much of an impact we have on this generation too. And being a believer in Christ, like I feel like that's a way for me to use that as a platform to be able to influence people, to show people how great he is and what he can do in people's lives. And so, and look, there's a kid right there, Sam Hoiberg. You guys just missed him, but we have so many guys on this team that have such great personalities and are just good dudes. Like, I mean, like I hope that you guys are able to see like the personalities and how good of people we got on this team.
I think it's cool. One of the games recently that I was talking to two young boys that they told me that you were their favorite player and you're not even playing this season. That's got to mean a lot to you that there's this fan base. There's still people that, hey, you're not even out there on the court, but you're people's favorite player.
It's pretty crazy. And I mean, it still doesn't feel real. Like I remember growing up and don't hate me, but I was a Michigan fan growing up. And so like if I would have seen those guys like Trey Burke and them walking around, like I'd be in awe. And so like to be able to be one of those guys for kids, like any opportunity I have, I'm going to take time with them. And my dad told me, Chuck Asijian, if you guys know him, who I'm related to, my dad said that he signed every autograph every time, no matter whatever he did. And so like it's just like some kids, it's their only time they'll ever get to see us play, get to see me, and like, you know, this doesn't last forever, so I'm going to soak it in while I can.
All right, and you're also picked up another second career radio analyst. You're helping out Kent and Jeff sometimes. How's that been? It's been crazy. It's been weird. I've never done anything like that in my life. And so like, it's been really cool though. Like Jeff and Kent, they're really good dudes. And obviously we know what they can do behind the mic. And it's cool to see a different perspective of things, you know, to be able to be behind them and see the papers and all the notes they got. Like they put so much time into it too. Like, people don't realize how much effort and time goes into all this stuff, and it's been fun. And I know I don't do it every game, but it's a pretty cool opportunity. All right, back at home on Sunday against Illinois, big one, wide out for the fans. But how important has this fan base been to what you guys have been able to do here at home?
I mean, I just saw today that every game for the rest of the season is sold out. Like, our Husker fans are unbelievable, and we appreciate you guys so much. Like, you guys have no idea, and the fans have no idea, like, how much that means to us to be able to pull up into a full arena. And when we go on the road, we're hearing Go Big Red chants. Like, that just doesn't happen. And so we're super thankful. And you guys, the fans make such a huge difference. Like, they have no idea. And, like, just continue to support us because we appreciate you guys more than we know. It really changes games.
Great stuff. Appreciate your time, Connor.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great stuff with Jess and Connor. Appreciate Connor for joining the show. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Again, our coverage on Sunday begins at 2 p.m. Central with Illinois in town. Kent Pavelka, Jeff Smith will have the call. Big thanks to Russ Brown, Camden Cohn, assistant coach Ernie Ziegler. I'm Kyle Crooks. This has been the Nebraska Basketball Coaches Show.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole. Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive. From enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
I got to see my brother get married.
I would have missed my dad's birthday.
Because I wore my seatbelt, I had the privilege of being part of his special day.
I got to go home and see my family again.
Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I would have never had the chance to see my daughter become a doctor.
I was able to go to my brother's graduation.
I wouldn't have adopted my first pet.
And then it clicked. My seatbelt saved my life. Does it click yet?
Brought to you by NDOT Highway Safety Office.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there's no peace of mind like knowing you have a dedicated team of technology experts working for your business around the clock. Hey Lincoln, I'm Ed Knott, president of tech company Applied Connective. It's a privilege to serve our great state for nearly 2 decades now with managed IT, cybersecurity, phone systems, physical security, and audio-video solutions. Our team understands the importance of fitting you with the right technologies to help your business perform at its peak potential all day, every day. Discover more at appliedconnective.com and go Big Red.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your